12 to 5, 131873. Now, do you vape? The federal government, of course, wants to ban disposable vapes. I don't know how they're going to do that or achieve it, because prohibition rarely works. But anyway, listen to this. Did you know that vaping and tobacco companies can still give political donations? So they can't advertise, but they can still donate to political parties. And a lot of politicians will refuse their donations, but still, the coalition accepted $110,000 in donations from tobacco company Philip Morris Limited in the 2021-2022 financial year. And while I'm against a vape ban, effectively they're a vehicle for nicotine. I think the genie's out of the bottle and they should be sold, regulated and taxed to over 18s, just like cigarettes are. But the last thing we want in Australia is tobacco companies buying influence in Canberra. And the Royal Australian College of GPs, they're calling for a ban on political donations from tobacco companies, and I reckon they're 100% correct. Well, Dr. Bruce Willett is the Vice President of the RACGP, and he's on the line live. Doctor, thanks for your time.
Yeah, good afternoon.
So how much sway do the tobacco companies have?
Yeah, look, who knows? That's the problem. There's a lot of this stuff goes on behind closed doors, and I think you're right. I think it makes no sense in 2023 that companies selling products that are known to be addictive and harmful can buy political influence through political donations. So it really is time for that to stop.
One thing that was, I did know that Greg Hunt, as the Health Minister, he was pushing back pretty significantly on nicotine vapes to begin with, and then it all sort of just went away, didn't it?
Yeah, look, to his credit, he worked very hard to push back on it, and I'm not sure what support he had within the rest of the party, but these products are not safe. And I think one of the concerns out there is that there are lots of people who think that vaping is completely safe. And it's not. We know it's harmful. We know that it can cause some lung problems. And one of the big problems is that it hasn't been around long enough for us to understand the full long-term significance of vaping products. So what we know so far is not good, but we don't even know the full picture yet. And so it really is some time for some caution around the use of these products and to slow down the growth of the use of them.
Do you support the ban yourself?
Yeah, look, I do, and I take your point that, bans rarely wipe things out completely, and particularly in the age of the internet. But what we do know is that it will reduce the uptake of vaping products for new people, and particularly kids. We've seen these products marketed directly towards kids. They come in bright packages with kind of, pink unicorns with rainbows on the front. And, with all due respect, I doubt that you and I are the main market that they're aiming for with that kind of packaging. So really looking for similar legislation to apply to vaping as it does to cigarettes, where, the sales are very at least tracked.
But you can only do that if you regulate and tax it, right? And they're not proposing to regulate and tax it; they're proposing a ban.
Yeah, look, my understanding is the ban is on the disposable products, which are quite problematic. And the other issue is that the companies are coming up with new ways of marketing and developing these products. And so it often applies to the burning products, but some of them just do heating and without actually burning the product. And we feel that the legislation absolutely needs to capture those products as well, because they're all damaging, they're all addictive, and they're all quite problematic.
On the political donations, can you say that maybe they're not working all that well because we have the highest price of tobacco in the world when it comes to tobacco excise?
Yeah, but as you said, we've seen, vaping products, come into the market in a way that has been really unhelpful. And you might be right. It might be too late to put the genie back in the bottle, but I think it is worth a trial. And I think particularly, as I said, this applies to young people. The targeting to young people, which is where the strongest uptake has been for these products. And we know that about 50% of young people who smoke will have got into that via starting to vape and then going on to cigarettes. So it is also leading people into increased rates of smoking.
Also, where do we get that information from? Because I've met very few people that started vaping and then went back to smoking or went to smoking.
Yeah, so this is particularly from young people. This is from I think it comes from the Bureau of Statistics. I'm not quite sure where that came from, to be honest.
Because one of those things, because I'm not having a go at you, the Federal Health Minister threw the same stats at me, and I went, that's not really, doesn't marry up with the sort of anecdotal stories that I'm hearing. People just vape and they get addicted to nicotine, and then they're addicted to nicotine, just like, 20, 30, 40 years ago, kids were smoking cigarettes. The problem is we've done all that health work, and now it's sort of being unwound, isn't it?
So I guess my personal experience is that adults who smoke and then go to vaping tend to stay with the vaping, but we know that a sizable proportion of kids who start vaping will then go on to cigarettes.
Sure.
So it's the difference between young people and people who have been previously established smokers. And look, sometimes vaping products can have a place in getting people off of cigarettes, but
not for kids.
It needs not for kids,
yeah.
And it needs to be, and the ultimate aim needs to get off all of these products altogether because they're still unhelpful.
Dr. Willett, appreciate your time.
Cheers. Thank
Dr.
you.
Bruce Willett, the Vice President of the RACGP.